Well, if you clicked on this video, I probably should start with congratulations on matching at UMMC here in Jackson, Mississippi. And, I got to say, the process that y'all have to go through for this is pretty wild. I can't believe you do that. My hat's off to you because I know a lot of you, maybe you've been here once or twice. You really don't know a lot about the area. And some of you probably freaking out a little bit trying to figure things out, where you want to live, things to do, and all that kind of stuff around the Jackson Metro and things close to the hospital there at UMMC. And so I hope I can help you out with that. And I assume that would be why you clicked on this video. If you just are watching and maybe you're going to be moving here for other reasons, stick around because some of this stuff might benefit you too. But especially if you're going to be coming here for UMMC, I think I can help y'all out, maybe take a little bit of the anxiety out of the process because that's what we do here. This is the Living in Mississippi channel. My name is Jared Laster, realtor in the Jackson Metro, and we make content here mostly for relocating to Mississippi, and this one's specifically for you. So congratulations, and let's get into this because I know there's about 700 of y'all coming. You're starting on July 1st. They say if you're gonna get in an accident or do something, don't do it on July 1st, right? Well, I disagree. I trust y'all. I think y'all are going to do a great job. We're happy to have you here. But this is where you're coming to. We are a smaller, mid-sized metro area, and I think there's a lot of benefits to that. And you'll see that starting with what you see there. We're well below the national average on cost of living. So that's just one thing that's going to be nice. Now, if you're looking for where you're going to live, work, play, do all these things, well, if you notice right here in the middle, here's a map of the area. And right there, dead in the center with that orange circle is UMMC. Now, right there next to that, almost also in the center is Fondren. That's because basically you're in Fondren there. So there's actually some options if you're going to be renting to live literally next door. Like you could just walk across the street. That is an option for you. But if you want to spread out and get some more space, there's several options as we kind of go progressively farther out. So I'll walk you through a little bit of that too. And hopefully this is helpful. If it is, drop me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what other information you need because I can always make more videos. But right there in the Fondren area, that's going to be the closest. That's going to be your most walkable area, not only to work, but just around. You've got a lot of great restaurants in Fondren there. Cool bakery there, Campbell's Bakery. It's always really good. I try not to go very often, but yes, it is very good when we go there. And then a lot of other neat things around there to check out in Fondren, and you can walk to most of it. Your groceries, your movie theater, all that is right there. But yes, if you like some little quirky homes too, things like that, you got some unique style and flavor in Fondren. If you want a little more classic feel, you like the tree-lined streets, older homes with some character, you can get that in Belhaven. And then over in Eastover, you're going to be stepping up a little bit in price point. There's a lot of other places around there too. I just wanted to give you kind of a little sampling there. They call it in between Eastover and I-55, they're leftover, which I thought people maybe when I first moved to the area about 13 years ago now, and I heard that, I thought that was derogatory, but they seem to have embraced it. So it's a cool little spot too. You can find some nice renovated homes in that area. And that's also where you can find the district at Eastover. It's right there on I-55. It's a cool little hangout spot. If you want, again, more restaurants, things like that, it is pretty much right here on that map. That's where you would find that. There's another apartment complex there too that's going to be kind of higher end luxury apartments that wouldn't be bad for you. And just to show you, we're going to get into this a little bit later, but we're going to talk about should you rent or buy. You're going to be here for at least 3 years, I think most of you. So, it is a debate, but I got something really that might actually make that cost almost completely or maybe even completely go away for your housing here while you're going to be living in Jackson. Or maybe while you stay in Jackson, maybe just something to help you move up even faster while you're here. Cause I think some of y'all will love it, but this is the Meridian. It's right across the street. Like literally you walk across the street and you could be here. If I was coming here for what you're coming here for, I would probably, if I was going to rent an apartment, it would probably be the Meridian. And you can see the one bedroom starting out at 1548. Keep that number in mind. It's going to be important in a little bit. But that is right there. You can also get on UMMC's website. This will be important for you too. In just a little bit, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tie all this together here in just a couple minutes. But this, you can find some rentals if that is what you want to do. You can do it there. They have that resource for you. You probably already know about that. But again, there's a reason for why I'm bringing this up. Now, those are your three options there. There's a few others too we could talk about. But if you want to spread out a little bit more, you want to have the house, the yard, the dog, the kids running around, whatever the case it may be, you can do that if we spread out to some of the suburbs. And here are some of the suburb options Probably the closest is actually going to be Flowood or Pearl. Pearl probably will get you the closest for the housing because most of the housing, especially the newer housing in Flowood, is going to be farther up this way. If we look up Highway 25, it's going to be out in this area and then up by the reservoir. That's where most of your housing is in Flowood. Whereas in Pearl, it's all right here, and it's pretty easy to get on the interstate and jump right on down to the Fondren area. Flowood, you do have a direct line straight into it on Highway 25 or Lakeland Drive, but you do have a lot of red lights there. So that is something to keep in mind. That will slow your commute down just a hair, but still, we're not talking about long. Even if you go the farthest out, you could even go to Gluckstadt, which is out there really, and is for us, for locals, we consider that kind of being out a little bit, and you still be within about 25, maybe 30 minutes with a little bit of traffic that we have. We really don't have traffic. So if you're coming here from, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, any of these places, we don't have traffic like that. So really don't worry about that at all. That really gives you the opportunity to spread out. And you see, we have some nice recreational things too. While we got the map pulled up, I'll show you. You have the Ross Barnett Reservoir there, which gives you a lot of things. It's got trails over here. So just full disclosure, I'm in the Flowood area myself, so I'm a little biased, maybe, and I know the most about it because I live here. Been living here now in Flowood specifically for about 10 years. And so you can come up here. There's trails around this Pelahatchie Bay here. So it's really nice. There's a park here that's great. There's just a lot of cool stuff. And the trails kind of run by a lot of the neighborhoods there in Flowood. So that is really nice. Up here in Ridgeland, though, and over in Clinton, you have the Natchez Trace that runs through there. So it's just a really pretty drive. If you want to get out and enjoy that on a Sunday, just kind of go for that Sunday drive. You can do that on the Natchez Trace there. And there's a lot of great things up here in Ridgeland and in Madison as well. You get a lot of shopping, dining, all that kind of stuff. And that suburban style living, a little more open space, that kind of thing out there too. And I don't want to gloss over Clinton too much because it's actually really nice over here on the west side of the area. If you like kind of that small town downtown vibe and maybe a college town vibe because you have MC there too. You got the nice brick streets there. You can go to 303 Jefferson. They got a good lunch. If I'm going through Clinton for lunch, we'll stop there and get that because it's really good. But Clinton's really nice. And, I guess I'll give you an honorable mention or two. If you go the other way over here to Brandon, Brandon's got a similar vibe to it as far as small town. You got the main street coming through there. You want to be somewhere where they're going to have a 4th of July parade down the main street of your small town. You can do that. A lot of great little restaurants and bar spots too. And you can carry drinks around there now. They've recently opened that up a few years ago where if you're in that little downtown district of Brandon, you can carry drinks around. And one more down here on the south side down this way would be Byram. And Byram is probably going to rival Pearl as probably one of the most affordable suburbs, but it is going to be just a little bit farther. And right now there's constant construction going on right here between I-55 and I-20 at the stack, which is the stack. They call it the stack here because it's the only little interchange where you've got multiple interstate roads going over each other. If you're from Dallas or Houston or any of these other places, you have them everywhere. You wouldn't name any of them, but we have one here and it's named. But regardless of where you go, like I said, you're really not looking at any significant amount of traffic that you're going to have to deal with, which if you're working long hours, that will be really nice. You don't want to be adding even more time to that. So that's going to be one of your benefits for being here in the Jackson Metro. Now, another thing is that cost of living being low, and you can find some pretty affordable housing. Now, this is actual data. I've given this MLS data here, and we've averaged it out so that you can see what things are actually selling for. I do want to say this number here for Jackson, take it with a little grain of salt because it's pulled down because there is a little higher amount of what I'd call distressed properties, things that need work, rehab, that kind of thing in Jackson. So it's pulling the average down a little bit. I would think you would need to, even as an individual, probably be close to about the 200,000 range to find something that would be move-in ready and nice and what you would want for a move-in ready. So you're not having to deal with, problems at home where you're also trying to deal with everything here with your new job and residency at UMMC. So keep that in mind as we go through here. Now, that's, of course, if you are going to buy, and we're going to talk about should you buy or should you rent. Remember when I showed you the Meridian earlier? These are averages again. If you can find something nice for $1,000, you did really well. Okay. I will say rent compared to what you'll see, even just if you just generally buy a home, rent is going to be kind of higher here in proportion than it might be in some other areas. So that might be a little downside, but again, I got a trick for you. We're going to see that in just a second. But here you go. You can buy with a physician loan. Now, if you do buy, that is probably the way to go because you get to do this with no PMI, which means you're not paying private mortgage insurance on top of the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance that you're always going to have to pay. And you can do a 0 down payment, which is really nice. And you can use your upcoming contract as proof of employment versus having to wait for that to actually play out like you might have to on some other types of loan products. So that is going to save you a lot of money and make things very convenient. And it's going to open up the door for the house hack opportunity, which I think is huge for you. If you're going to be here for 3 years and you're going to pay that $1,500 a month for that apartment, you're spending $52,000 for 3 years while you're here, or even $36,000 if you find the one for $1,000 a month. So this will save you a ton of money, not only while you're here, but if you do end up leaving or when you decide to just move up into another home because you love living in Mississippi so much you want to stay, you'll have more money to do that with. So obviously you probably have heard of house hack before, but if you haven't, basically you're buying a 3-bedroom house, renting out 1 or 2 of the other rooms, and therefore reducing your cost. And if we look at that, we can cut down on a $275,000 home, which I felt like was a pretty reasonable price point as an average for the whole area that you could go find a 3-bedroom house that this would work for. I'm not saying that you always will, but in every area, but generally I think that will be possible for you. And, you're looking at around $2,100 a month for your mortgage, but if you can rent out 2 rooms for $750 a month, there you go. And I got to say, $750 a month will be a great deal. You just saw what all the rents are. So if you've got some friends, or if you meet some people here and you become friends and they're trying to find a place that's more affordable, or if you want to go back up here and use the resources that UMMC has for you, you can do that and then maybe find some people to rent that out. Not only are they getting a great deal, but you are cutting your costs down to $609 a month with that. And then you're actually building equity. So in 36 months when you leave, not only did you save money while you were here, you actually might get to take a little bit of that money with you onto the next place or the next home. Now, that physician loan that I mentioned is going to be probably the key that really makes that the best option. So if you need a good referral to a local lender who can help you out with that and help you explore maybe some of your specific numbers and help you decide what's right for you, I know a guy that's really good. Just shoot me a text at the number down there and I will get you hooked up with him. Maybe at least help you out with that part of it. But moving on here, if you're going to be coming here with kids, this is something that we always get asked. So I like to give you a resource, and I'll tell you the one that I like to use. I like to use niche.com. You can also use Great Schools, but you have very highly rated schools around here. Mississippi schools in general have come up a lot over the past, I would say, decade, and really the past 5 years. If you look at ratings nationally, Mississippi schools have improved a lot. And you have a lot of A-rated school districts in and around the Jackson Metro. And you also have some private school options as well. You've got Jackson Prep and Jackson Academy that are not going to be far at all from where you are there at UMC. So if you are ready to find your home here in the area, whether that be renting, if you want to talk through a little bit more which one would be the best for you, or purchasing your home, building that equity, and maybe taking some of that with you, I would love to have a conversation with you and help you figure that out. And you can book a call right there on my calendar, or you can just call us really anytime. Call, text, email right there. All that information is there for you. We would absolutely love to help you out. And if you want to see more about all of these different areas that I mentioned in this video, we have a ton of content here on the channel that should be very helpful to you. So go check that out right after you subscribe. And if you want to see some of the new homes, if you really think you might want to be in a brand new house, get some new construction incentives, which can make that even better, I'll put up our Weekend Home Show playlist for you right there. I think you'll like it, and I look forward to meeting you, and welcome to Mississippi.